And then on top of that, the headphone jack is just a normal headphone jack. There is no cover on it. So good stuff there, and very awesome as far as protecting the phone. You also saw
the back has this weird perforation that's going on.
Yes, exactly. So this probably on video looks maybe a little bit more premium than I'd say it feels in the hand. Kind of has that note style.
Right.
It's not quite pleather. I mean, it's actually plastic, but it kind of looks like it might be pleather or leather. It's not really. It's I don't know. It's okay. I think this is up to your personal taste. For me, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. To be honest, the design of the phone in general, you can see on the sides here, these little like notched fake chrome sidings all around the device. I can see how some people might think that makes it look premium. I feel like it makes it look kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Especially when you see it up close.
I like matte black for a phone.
Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, of course, with the HTC One M8, you know, it's more of a kind of a metallic approach, less of a plastic thing. And that's really true to Samsung's kind of design aesthetic. They really go the plastic route, which a lot of people love. It's just not my favorite thing in the world, but having said that, it's a pretty decently designed phone. Display is obviously, it's beautiful. It's a large, rich 1080p display. I love just looking and using and interacting with this display. Very big thumbs up there. Performance, I already said, is super zippy. Boot up process actually is less than 10 seconds from turning it on to using it actively. So I was pretty impressed with that. And we might as well take a little bit of time and talk about the camera here.
Yay!
Oh, somehow I activated Google Now. Interesting. Don't know how I did that, but there you go.
Seems to respond pretty well, though.
Yes, exactly. So one cool thing to note about the camera on the S5 is it has a dedicated chipset, and it allows for things, you know, like faster operation. It has phase detection on the autofocus, which is a different type of autofocus. So focusing tends to be, you know, a little bit quicker with it. And results were kind of mixed as far as that was concerned. But ultimately, I was pretty happy with how it could lock into its auto focus. Good depth of field most of the time. Lots of bells and whistles software-wise. You just have all sorts of options to choose from when you're Samsung's really good at just listing this grid full of a massive amount of things that you can turn on or off.
It's almost too much.
You almost need a map to know where all of the options are, even though they're displayed on the screen for you. Brian, if you can show a few of the images. So Beauty Face is a front-facing camera in this regard, and it kind of smooths out the skin.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks a little too Photoshopped to me.
Kind of reminds me of going to Walmart and having pictures done.
Yeah, exactly. It's an automatic thing, so that's kind of neat, I guess. I thought that there was really great depth of field. You know, when I was really close to something, it had something in the background. It was very easy for me to focus to the fore or background and get a nice blurred effect on whatever wasn't in focus. In good light, pictures were absolutely awesome, off the charts great.
The color is excellent.
Yeah, excellent color. Maybe a little oversaturated at times, but I really like the pictures there. Okay, so it has live HDR. This means that instead of processing HDR after the fact, you actually see the results of HDR on the screen as you're doing it. As you can see between these two, this is HDR on. Go back to HDR off. If you see Steve Gibson up in the monitor, this will kind of give you an indication of what the differences are between the two. It kind of rounds it out and gives you a nicer look, and you're monitoring that as it's happening. So that's very cool. Low light, this looks okay on this monitor right now, but if you really got up close and looked at this picture, a little grainy. Yeah, in low light, but it was okay. Selective focus is another feature that it has. It's kind of similar to what the M8 has and is using 2 cameras for, where you can be really close to an object and then have the background, you know, be able to kind of say, yes, blur out the background. You can see in this picture, it didn't do a good job of it, right? It captured the poles, and then it also captured that gear out by the set, but totally and completely blurred out Leo's head. If you go to the next one, this one did it a little bit better. Maybe it was the lighting, but Steve Gibson in the foreground, totally blurred in the background.